Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Liqok Zakiya. My student number is A320200129 and I'm from class G. In this video, I will explain briefly about public speaking. Okay, what is public speaking? Public speaking is a process, an act and art of making a speech before an audience. Absolutely everyone from the age of 10 to 90 has found themselves in situation where they have to speak publicly. However, telling an anecdote at a corporate party, introducing yourself in class, or delivering a paper at a conference does not necessarily make you a public speaking. Your goal should not be limited with informing your audience or expressing your thoughts publicly, but to changing emotion, action, and attitudes, and to leaving your listener moved by the word and touched by their meaning. 3 parts of persuasion by Aristotle. We know them as the 3 basic parts of persuasion. Number 1, ethos or credibility of the speaker. Number 2, logos or logic behind any conclusion drawn by a speaker. Number 3, pathos or emotional appeal or ability to create connection between the speaker and his audience. Cicero's 5 canons of rhetoric. Cicero believed that the process of eloquent speech preparation consists of 5 main steps. Number 1, invention. Invention is development and refinement of the argument or finding ways to persuade. Number 2, arrangement is creation of the structure of a coherent argument. Number 3, style is the process of determining how to present an argument using rhetorical technique and choosing the words that have the greatest impact of the audience. Number 4, memory, the process of learning and memorizing the speech while making it sound natural. 5, delivery is the process of making effective use of voice and body language. Modern elements of public speaking. Most public speaks can be broken down into 5 basic elements, usually expressed as who is saying what to whom, using what medium with what effect. Who, what, whom, medium, effect. 3 style of speech. Number 1, impromptu speech. Impromptu speech is prompted by the occasion rather than being planned in advance. In real life, we have very little or no time to prepare before we speak in front of the audience. Some example of impromptu speech could be your boss asking you to bring the rest of your team up to date, or a group of friends urging you to say a few words at non-profit event. Number 2, manuscript speech. This of speech is written like a manuscript and is meant to be delivered word to word. Manuscript speeches are used on many political and social occasions when every word carries a lot of weight and should not be misquoted. Number 3, extemporaneous speech. Extemporaneous speech is the most commonly used type of speech that helps to establish emotional connection with the audience. Overcoming fear of public speaking. Introduction. One of the biggest obstacles that many businessmen and women face is the fear of public speaking. 2.2, the hidden psychology behind the fear of public speaking. Psychologists know that the very fact of being in the spotlight often triggers the whole range of physical reaction that we would experience in the face of real-life threatening danger, as pounding heart, dry mouth, shaky hands, quivering voice, cold sweaty palms, stomach cramps. Accepting our fear helps us to take proactive steps in addressing state fright and letting the adrenaline rush work for you, not against you. 3.3 Two biggest myths about the fear of public speaking. Myth 1. Great public speaking skills are an inborn talent. Of course, some people find it easier to speak in public than the other, but the majority of successful speakers have trained themselves to perform through persistence, preparation, and practice. The bottom line is that if you can speak in front of true friends, you can deliver a presentation before an audience. Myth 2. Fear of public speaking is negative and undesirable. This is another common misconception that holds many new speakers back. They believe that stage fright is of their inadequacy and lack of public speaking skill. This could not be further away from truth. No one escapes the rush of adrenaline that accompanies a presentation in front of an audience. The difference between successful public speaking and rookies is that they have learned to transform and use fear to their advantage. Fear is not only a normal reaction to public speaking event, but actually boosts our performance. Physiologists agree that some amount of fear heightens your awareness, improves your concentration, sharpens your thinking, and gives you an energy boost. It is fear that allows most speakers to perform better during the actual presentation than during practice. 3.4 Ways to transform the public speaking fear into excitement. If you are worried that fear may worsen instead of improve your presentation, here are 5 practical ways to transform it into unscapable confidence and excitement. Number 1. Deep breathing. Number 2. Shifting focus outward. Number 3. Visualizing. Number 4. Focusing on fact, not fears. Number 5. Building your speech on clarity, not complexity. 4. Component of a successful speech. 4.1 Introduction. Let us take a look at the other means of communication available to speakers besides the power of the spoken word. These include storytelling, body language, tone of voice, pauses, visual cues. Storytelling. The importance of storytelling is in a public speaking. Everyone loves to listen to stories or making a presentation to your client. Do not be afraid to include a few personal stories in your speech. Relieve tension. Make important point of the presentation memorable. Establish a connection with the particular audience. Emphasize the message. Introduce controversial issue. Encourage thinking. Shape people's beliefs. Raise the energy level of the group, motivate people to act. Definition of storytelling. Storytelling can be defined as a structured narrative account of real or imagined event that is widely used in public speaking as a medium for sharing, interpreting, and offering the content of the story to the listener. Do's and don'ts of storytelling. Not every story will grab your audience's attention and interest. There are a few important points that should be taken into consideration when choosing the right story of your speech. Thus, always make your story relevant to the subject at hand. Keep your story simple and short. Eliminate inconsequential detail. Space stories at intervals to re-emphasize your message. Tones. Do not use more than or three stories on the same topic, as its success on will lose its impact. Do not use terms that are foreign to experience of the audience. Do not fill stories with too many character, events, or detail. To improving your communication skill are becoming better public speaker. Posture, body placement, arms, facial expression. 4.4 Tone of voice. Introduction. It may mean that people are more influenced by the sound and quality of an individual voice than by its content. To control your tone of voice and use it to make your speech more expressive and hypnotizing. Paralanguage. Well, the term paralanguage refers to the non-verbal elements of communication as pace or speed, pitch or highness or lowness of voice, volume or loudness, and in some cases, enunciation of vocal speech. Speech pace. Experienced public speakers often vary their pace during a presentation to hold their audience attention over a long period of time and add spice to their speech. However, the biggest part of presentation should be delivered at rate that allows your listener to grasp your message and let it sink in. There are few ways you can bring your speech to an appropriate pace and win your audience attention. Steady your breathing, focus on the enunciation, read about punctuation in speech. 4.4.4 Pitch. Pitch is a placement of voice, the musical scale ranging from high to low usually means speak in a lower pitch about than the woman. 4.4.5 Volume. Varying the loudness of your voice during presentation can be very effective in stressing an important or dramatic point, express strong emotion, or to build suspense and make people run forward to hear what is being said. The power of pause. In most cases, there is no need to fill the silence with the meaningless words such as like, and you know. Doing this only distract the audience from what is being said and give the impression of nervous and lack of clarity. Visual aid. Adding a visual dimension to your presentation can make it look more vivid, graphic, and professional looking. If your goal is to help your listener understand and remember some key points of your presentation, there is no doubt and that you can benefit enormously from including some visual elements and data in your presentation. Why adding visual dimension to your speech? Choosing visual aid can take the speech from being barely informative to utterly brilliant. What are visual aids that empower your message, stimulate and create an emotional response in your audience, as well as work well in the physical setting of your presentation? When public speakers talk about visual aid, they usually intend one of the 5 communication power tools: flip cards, overhead projector, slideshow, handouts, and props. Rule for effective business presentation, written as formula Kawasaki 10, 20, 30 rule looks like 10 slides plus 20 minutes plus 30-point font. The 3 of a successful speech. Introduction. How will the presenter follow the 3 P's: preparation, practice, performance. Preparation. The speech preparation is the credibility. A few steps before the speech preparation in order to make your speech both interesting and memorable for the listener. It is important to consider 3 key elements: the audience, who is the speech written for, The purpose. What is the main objective of the speech? Finding time to prepare your speech. When you are developing a new presentation, set apart an hour of time for each minute that you spend speaking on the stage. Smart speech preparation. Number one, select your material. Your knowledge and experience of the subject should be much greater and much deeper than what you decide to cover during your presentation. Number two, map our and outline. The basic speech outlines template contains 5 main elements. uh, 3. And humor and personality. Just make sure that it does not sound like an easy or detailed description of a scientific experiment, whether you are explaining the confluence of multiple market dynamic on the company private or sharing the latest strategy dedication with your team, that your personality, your opinions, and even your sense of humor draw your speech. 4. Revise your speech. After you finish the draft of your speech, think of how it can be improved even further. 5. Tie loose and together. Okay, this my explanation about public speaking. Okay, thank you for your watching, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.